Picture this. A billionaire walks into his penthouse at 3 a.m., only to find his maid studying advanced mathematics under a flashlight. What he thought was just a case of misplaced ambition soon became the beginning of his own downfall. Victor Reynolds, a 45-year-old real estate mogul, was the kind of man people feared in boardrooms. His empire stretched across the city's skyline, each tower a monument to his ruthlessness. That night, returning earlier than usual from a high-profile dinner, he expected silence in his $40 million penthouse. Instead, he found Maya Johnson, a 25-year-old cleaner, sitting cross-legged on the marble floor. Cleaning supplies were neatly stacked to the side, her shift clearly finished. In front of her were open books, pages filled with complex calculus problems, a worn-out notebook, and a $5 calculator. Victor's voice sliced through the quiet. "What the hell are you doing here?" Maya didn't flinch. She looked up, calmly, her small flashlight casting long shadows on the walls. "I finished cleaning, sir. I was just taking a few minutes to study before heading home." Victor descended the staircase, silk pajamas brushing against the marble. His laugh was sharp, condescending. "Study? Do you even realize where you are? This is not a public library. It's my home. I pay you to clean floors, not pretend you're some kind of genius." Maya quietly closed her book, tucking the calculator into her bag. Her movements were deliberate, unhurried. There was no fear, no apology, just a quiet strength that unsettled Victor more than he cared to admit. "With all due respect, Mr. Reynolds, the apartment is spotless. My work is done." Her composure only irritated him further. For 6 months, Maya had been invisible, another uniformed worker who came and went without notice. But seeing her with college-level textbooks lit a fire of contempt inside him. "Listen carefully," he said, towering over her. "People like you have a place in society. Don't fool yourself into thinking you can be more. It's pathetic." That's when Victor saw it, the briefest flicker in Maya's eyes. Not anger, not fear. Something else. A dangerous calmness, the kind of certainty one carries when holding a secret too heavy to be revealed just yet. "People like me?" Maya repeated softly. Her tone carried weight, a quiet defiance that made Victor take an involuntary step back. What Victor never realized was that Maya was no ordinary cleaner. She had graduated at the top of her class in economics. But every resume she sent out had been rejected with excuses like, "not the right cultural fit." The corporate world's doors were closed to someone from her background. So Maya created another path. Getting hired as a cleaner for the city's most powerful elite wasn't coincidence. It was strategy. For half a year, she had entered Victor's home unnoticed, quietly absorbing everything. She had seen confidential contracts scattered across his desk, heard late-night calls where land prices were rigged, watched business meetings where bribes were disguised as consulting fees. Each detail she memorized, each document she discreetly photographed with her old cell phone. Victor, blinded by arrogance, assumed she couldn't possibly understand the complex web of corruption he thrived on. But Maya not only understood, she documented everything with a meticulousness no corporate auditor could match. Studying calculus in his penthouse wasn't carelessness. It was bait. She knew Victor's Thursday routine, arriving home early from the club, smug and impatient. She counted on his arrogance to play its part, to push him into firing her in anger, giving her the perfect exit without suspicion. And that's exactly what happened. "You're fired!" Victor spat. "Pack your things. Don't even think about asking for references." Maya stood tall, collected her books, and headed for the door. But just before leaving, she turned, her voice echoing off the marble walls. "Mr. Reynolds, have you ever heard the saying, 'Never underestimate the ones who are always watching'?" The words lingered like smoke long after she left, while Victor bragged the next day to his investors about putting an insolent maid in her place. Maya was at the public library, assembling months of evidence into a dossier that would shake the city's foundations. fraudulent land deals, kickbacks disguised as fees, text messages arranging bid manipulations. Every scheme was cataloged. Dates, names, bank accounts. Her mother worked double shifts as a nurse. Her younger sisters juggled part-time jobs to help with rent. For years, they had sacrificed everything so Maya could study. Now, she had the chance to give them the life they deserved and take down the man who had treated her dreams as a joke. That's when fate stepped in. Marcus Lee, a young investigative journalist, overheard Victor mocking Maya at his elite golf club. Marcus knew corruption ran deep in the city, but he had never been able to get close enough for real evidence. When he tracked Maya down at the library and saw her notebook filled with documents, his eyes widened. "My God," he whispered, "this is enough to bring down half the city's businessmen." Maya's enigmatic smile returned. "I'm not done yet." Over the next few weeks, Maya and Marcus worked in secret. Every document was verified, every transaction traced. Then came the final piece, a recording of Victor himself, captured by his own security cameras, openly offering bribes to city officials in his penthouse, the very same place he had humiliated her. "We got it," Marcus said, placing the footage in front of her. "With this and your documents, we'll make it front-page news." Monday morning, Victor Reynolds woke to the sound of his phone exploding with calls. His face was plastered across every newspaper: billionaire empire built on bribes and fraud. The evidence was undeniable: contracts, text messages, financial records, even video footage. The walls of his empire crumbled in a single day. Banks froze his accounts. Politicians cut ties. Investors demanded their money back. By 9 a.m., Victor sat in his penthouse office, trembling, watching news anchors discuss his crimes as if his guilt were already sealed. And then the doorbell rang. "Mr. Reynolds," a calm female voice echoed through the intercom. "It's Maya Johnson. I'm here to return something you left behind." When she entered, she placed a copy of the newspaper on his desk. Her photo wasn't there, but the caption underneath made his blood run cold. Evidence provided by an anonymous source with inside access. Victor finally connected the dots. "It was you, all along." Maya nodded, her tone icy but composed. "For 6 months, every time you left confidential documents lying around, you assumed I couldn't understand them. You were wrong. I studied economics, top of my class, and I knew exactly what I was looking at." Victor collapsed into his chair, defeated. "Why did you do this?" "Because men like you build empires by crushing families like mine," Maya said firmly. "And because you made the fatal mistake of underestimating me." Within days, Victor was indicted on charges of racketeering, fraud, and corruption. His empire was dismantled, his properties auctioned, his name dragged through the mud. 6 months later, he sat in a federal prison cell, wearing an orange jumpsuit instead of his $1,000 suits. The man who once mocked a maid for studying calculus now scrubbed floors alongside other inmates. Meanwhile, Maya's life transformed. With the government reward for whistleblowers, she secured her family's future. Her mother retired, her sisters pursued college. Maya herself was hired as a senior financial analyst at one of the city's top firms. The same determination that once kept her calm in Victor's penthouse now guided her work as she exposed financial loopholes and prevented new schemes. When asked in an interview how she had endured those 6 months of silence, Maya simply said, "Because anger without strategy is just noise, but anger with planning becomes justice." They tried to bury her under prejudice and arrogance. Instead, she grew roots deep enough to topple an empire. Never underestimate quiet determination, because sometimes it's the most dangerous weapon of all.